Is a little bit late signing up today. I've got a bit of a Coco issue. She's refusing to come in, but just crying at the door. I've tried opening the door. I've tried to let her in through the cat flap. Maybe if I just try not to focus on it. And you hear the cat flap keep clicking with her microchip. Very disconcerting. And then Poppy joins in and makes the whole thing worse. Anyway, guys, hi, welcome to the Jessie Coatigan Sew Along. Now I haven't done any of my snipping, so whilst we wait for everyone to join, I'm just going to do my notch snipping. So that we're ready. Nice to see you guys. Yes, it is a nice start to the week to start with a sew along, isn't it? I think so too. Right, I'm just going to snip in the notches there. Rosie is online now, guys, to answer all your questions. We're making the Jessie Coatigan, which I am very excited about having. So the one that I've got is a navy one that we made for the shoot, and it's just a bit too big for me, so I don't wear it. So I'm very excited about having one in my wardrobe because I think this is something I am going to live in. Like an oversized cardigan at the moment. It's like I can just throw it on to pop out to the shops, pick up Jasmine from nursery, or wear it inside as well. So I'm just finished doing these little snippy snips, and then we've also got to make sure we mark circles as well. Pins going everywhere. There we go. Get these in, and then we'll get started. So the fabric I am using, I literally have just added up onto the site, as well as two other gorgeous boucles. There's a gorgeous mustard boucle and magenta, and I was very torn as to what colours to do it with. And in the end I chose this one purely because we had the most fabric of this one, and I thought, well, I don't want to take away from the stock with the ones that we haven't got that much of. So that is why I'm doing it in this, but also pale grey is actually a really nice versatile colour, isn't it? Because I've got lots of lovely colourful scarves, and they'll go really well with it. So that's good. Right, that one's done. Sorry guys. So I've had quite a busy morning already. I dropped Jasmine off at nursery and then went straight to the office. It was lovely. Did some fabric stuff, some emails, saw some of the team, and then, yeah, came back here in time for this. I've already done that one, annoying. I marked my circle. So we need to make sure you mark your circles, guys, on your facing piece. I'm making a size 8, guys, because I know this is oversized. That's the whole point of it, but I know that a size 8 for me will be absolutely fine. The only reason why I don't make a size 8 with coats at the moment is if it's very fitted, it might not fit over my bust. But if it's an open kind of coat, so say something like the cocoon or like this, I would make a size 8 because she's in. No, Poppy, don't you dare! She is in the building. Coco's in the building. Thank goodness. She'll no doubt be annoying us in no time. But is that, yeah, hips and busts might, mean that it's harder to close. However, if it's not closing, my frame is actually closer to a size 8. My shoulders are quite narrow, as is the width of my back. So it's more suited to a size 8 in that regard. And then also something like this that's super roomy. So size 8 it is. That's what I'm making. I'm trying to, again, talk to you all a bit more about sizing, what size I am, to help you get reference. And we are going to start publishing in time. It's going to take us while we're publishing what our model sizes are as well. So again, you've got those as references. But at the moment, I'm about a size 10. So over at sizes wise. And this is quite long as well. Again, it's slightly oversized in the length of sleeves. Again, that was intended, but if you don't like that look, you might want to shorten your sleeves. So I'd say we wouldn't say my arms are like out of proportion long, but they are, given that I'm 5'7", they are probably longer than average, slightly longer than average. I think most of our patterns tend to come up. We tend not to get that much feedback that our patterns are too long in the sleeve. But those of you that don't know, we do use me as a fitting model, and though we've used me as a fitting model for all 110 patterns that we've got, we're also very much aware of what we have to kind of counterbalance based on my posture or shape being different from the standard. So we've got quite good now at making the adjustments so that we really have a great kind of good block start. You know, our first pattern that we make is a really good size 10. Okay, there's all sorts of it's funny when we do our samples, and if there's anything that's to be made on me, there's all sorts of funny little notes on it that's like, for Lisa, add 2 inches here, or take away this, or take in this bit. There we go. There's one thing that dressmaking does, it makes you very aware of your body shape and the contours of your body, doesn't it? And I think that's a really good thing, because I think it's really good to know exactly what your body is like, and then you can, you know how to shop for it and to sew for it. It's really good awareness. Right, there we go. That one is done. Sorry guys, faffing around with this. They're big pieces though, very big pieces. I haven't told you what I'm wearing, can't really see, but I have got a sew over at Macon today, and I'm absolutely loving it. I haven't worn this yet. This was the Thea dress that we did together, didn't we? I can't remember how much of it we got done together, but we did do it together. I think we probably just got some, did we get the whole thing and just not the neckline? Anyway, Thea dress. Ta-da! I can't remember if we did it together or not. It's literally all blurring. And I thought I was going to take up the length. I decided not to, actually, because I thought I'm probably going to wear it with a belt, which I have today. And actually I put up a photo of me in it on Instagram if you're interested to see what it looks like properly, and I really like it with the old belt. So yeah, the length is great. Okay, sorry guys, I'm just triple checking that circle has gone in and all these notches. So what I'm going to do today with you guys, I hope, is attaching the facing to kind of create the shawl collar. And obviously we've got to do the shoulder seams and little bits before that. But in the instructions, it goes through the pocket. Kind of like you do this bit, you do it, it's like stay stitching type stuff, then you do this bit, and then you go into, sorry, I just saw a good question, so I'm getting distracted by what Laurie answers. Then you go into the pockets. But I'm not going to do the pockets today, because I feel like that's more the kind of thing that you would get on lots of patterns, and you might want to more specifically see how you do this pattern. I've decided to use my fabric basket as my sew-along basket with all the stuff, so I load it up with all the things that I'll need to easily be able to grab for the sew-along. Loving that. If you don't have if you're not sure what I'm talking about, but this was the little lunchtime sew that I put up on the on our Instagram last week, and I'm doing one a week, and it went down very well. In fact, somebody made one within the day that it was up, and it was already like they were sharing it on Instagram, which is amazing. Right, I'm just going to get the instructions up, guys, so that I don't miss any vital stages / hop too much around in my own way. So what we're going to do first is stay stitching. I think it's 3 meters. Yeah, 3 centimeters, not 3 meters. 3 centimeters from the circle on the facing. So we've got here. We're going to go 3 centimeters one way and 3 centimeters that way. And this is because we need to strengthen this. It's a kind of weak point because it's going to get snipped into. Now I think we're going to be doing it. Yeah, so it's saying here really on the seam allowance. So the seam allowance is 1.5 centimeters or 5/8 of an inch. And we need to do it in the same piece here as well. Okay? So I've got the overlocker. I've got a lot of things on the table with me today, guys. I've got the overlocker because we're going to need that. But we're going to start off by just doing stay stitching. So stay stitching just helps strengthen, or it helps stop something from stretching. It's got lots of reasons why we do it, and this reason is to strengthen it so that when we snip in here, it's an extra strengthened point. So lining up with the 5/8, it must be really accurate here because you don't want to be more than 5/8. And then, oh, Rosie just put a link up to the fabric basket. Thank you, Rosie. And then what we're going to do, we're going to come down to this circle mark and then we're going to pivot and go 3 centimetres across there. Okay, needle in, pivot, oops, put the presser foot back down, guys, after pivoting, and across there 3 centimetres. Okay, so like so, just this little bit. So we need to do that on both of the pieces for the facing and then both of the, I think it's the back pieces, isn't it? Not the back, sorry, the front pieces. Where the bit is at the front, yeah. Just the front, yeah, look, this is the front, the back is cut on the fold. Yeah, got a cascade of fabric coming down there. So we had very exciting time. Here's Coco coming to make her entrance on Sunday because we had snow in London and other parts of southeast England. In fact, actually my sister had it in Bristol as well. I think lots of parts of the country had it really here in the UK, and that for us is very exciting. So those of you that live in parts of the world that always get snow, you probably think that we're crazy the way that we all act like children when the snow does come. But we usually get a good snow once a year, so when it comes, we make the most of it. And it was so lovely, the street, oh, it was just, I was so uplifted by seeing all the children come out in the street and just be happy out of their houses, because obviously they're not at school at the moment, and there's not loads of children in the street, but I don't know, there's a few families with young children who would get very excited about the snow. And, oh, hi Pauline! And yeah, it was lovely, and like everyone's made like little mini snowmen at the front of their house on their little walls. But yeah, it was so nice just seeing children really happy, everyone really happy. Just what the country needed, a snow day. Snow day of fun. Trust nature to cheer us all up. And that's actually something I focus on at the moment, I think. You know, so much uncertainty. But one thing that is certain is spring will come and flowers will come and then summer will come and the days will get longer, and I can rely on that. I get a lot of pleasure from that kind of thing, so excited about that. Although I've yet to see snowdrops. I know people have reported sightings of snowdrops, which are little, again, anyone who's not sure, they're little flowers that we get, little flowers that come up this time of year. Okay, so, whoopsie-daisy, don't get all caught in there. Right, we've now done that. I need to trim those. I've got lots of dangly bits. I didn't think I trimmed them. No, I didn't. Oh, goodness, these! No. Right, let's keep tidy and keep trimming our little bits, our threads off as we go. Right, that's one done. Oh my goodness, there is a beep in my kitchen. You won't probably hear it because it's very faint. There was a beep in my kitchen that started yesterday and I do not know what it's coming from. It's driving me mad, so I think I won't have time today, but tonight I'm going to just stand in the kitchen. It goes off every like 5-10 minutes and work out where it's coming from. Where is it coming from? I've turned everything on and off. I just can't work out what it is. It's like unless Jasmine's hidden some sort of toy. Bob is back. Yeah, it does sound like Bob the Iron, and like it's just like something in a cupboard or just what is going on? Okay. It's like a very slow, passive-aggressive way of torturing me. Oh dear. Right, okay. We've done all of those. That's great. We've done our stay stitching, and I believe we need to do some overlocking now. Yes. So we are now going to overlock the inner facing piece. So there's the facing piece. There's the facing piece. That's the big So I'm going to put my machine on the floor. Ow, God. It's all right. I don't know why I made a sort of cried out in pain for the table. I didn't hurt myself. Okay, I'm going to put this back on as well because it's cold. I was out. The heating wasn't on whilst I was out at the office, and it's just warming the house up now. Right, so we're overlocking the inner edge. So that is this edge here. I don't think we're overlocking anything other than that. No, we're doing them separately. So we're going to do this edge first, and then we're going to do the same on the other side. Oh, pressing the wrong foot pedal. I'm sewing the machine down on the floor at the moment. Powering that one up instead. Wrong machine, wrong foot pedal. I haven't used the overlocker in ages actually, you guys, have I? No. It's not, we've done a lot of stuff that hasn't needed it, haven't we? Okay. Very hard for me to chat over this, so I'll just whiz on through. Maybe it is the fridge freezer. But it's still cold, so why is it making noises at me? Okay, one-y done. One-y done. Just increase that stitch length a bit. Sorry, I know we've changed it, mixing it up, moving from a Wednesday to a Monday. I forgot on Friday as well when I was like, oh, yeah, I should check the smoke alarm battery. But mine's wired to, mind you, it's, yeah, even though it's wired to the house, they have the battery as a backup, don't they? Good one, Lorianne. Hopefully, guys, I shall work it out and I shall report back on what the annoying beep was. I feel like the smoke alarm battery should be louder. Maybe not. Okay. Right, we have done this. Put them over there. We now need to do the shoulder edges, yep, of the back. There we go. Let's take him off. Sea of mess around me. It's bad today. Right, so we're just doing the shoulder seam edges of the back, so these slopey edges here. Oh, I'm so excited about this fabric, I have to say. Isn't it lovely? Lovely marl. Ooh. I'm looking very pale today because I've got pale pink lipstick on. I just noticed I can barely see it. Oh. I am tired as well because a certain little Jasmine did not sleep well last night. So basically, Poppy has a thing for dummies. And she must have eaten a gazillion dummies over the years. She basically pacifies these. She doesn't eat the like hard bit, she eats the bit that goes in the mouth. Now Jazzy's quite unusual that she still uses her dummy, and you get this kind of mum guilt that like, oh God, she shouldn't. But bless her, she's not had the easiest year or two with me and her dad breaking up. So we thought, no, you know, she likes that, it soothes her. But we've been talking to her about the dummy fairies. This is the thing you say, the dummy fairies coming to take the dummy away. And so we were going to do it in the next few weeks. But anyway, over the weekend, I only had a couple of dummies left. I mean, they're always getting lost or whatever. And she generally just wears them, puts them in when she's really tired. Anyway, over the course of 24 hours, Poppy managed to eat both. Anyway, we realised the second one on Sunday. And of course the shops weren't really, they are open, but I didn't really want to go to a big supermarket just for that. So I was like, oh, we'll try and find one. Didn't have one in the local small shop. So I was like, this is my chance. It's my chance to say, you know, I said, well, Jasmine, there's no dummies. You're just going to have to cope. Anyway, She did so well. I got her to sleep. She understood everything. I've also kind of helped it by saying the dummy fairies will get her a present for giving up her dummy. And yeah, basically, so I was really pleased. Then she woke up about 3 times in the night, and I can't even, I mean, like, I try and take her back to her bed, and I think I remember, so I took her back to her bed, got into bed with her, got her settled, came back to my bed, then she came back into my bed. Oh God, it was like musical beds, the two of us, just me and her just swapping, going in and out of bed. I'm just like, but it gets to the point where you're so tired, you don't really know what's happening. Anyway, I haven't had a night like that for ages. So that's probably why I'm looking a bit pale. Right. We've done that. I've gone off on a tangent talking about dummies. Sorry guys, this is a sew-along. Shoulder seams. Right, now it goes on to pockets, but we're not doing pockets. So I'm just concerned that if I skip that, am I going to skip stitching the side seams? I kind of am. However, I don't think for the purpose of putting the shawl in, that matters, because the shawl is just going around the front edges, so it doesn't matter if the side seams aren't done. Oh, thanks, Lorianne. Glad someone does. Me and Jasmine are very good at waffling it to each other. So yeah, so we've done that. So let's just go straight. What I'm going to do is not worry about the side seams and stuff, but we're going to go straight. I didn't need to overlock that. Oh no, I did need to overlock that because we're going to have to attach that. Yes, but anyway, we're going to go straight to the front. Straight to the front. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to join these little short edges. Oh, you can't see that little edge there. So this is on the front pieces. So the little square, little short edge there, that and that together, joiny. And then we're going to press open that seam allowance. So I'm just going to line up the edge there, line up the bottom edge there, and then there is also a notch here and here, so you can use those and make sure they're lining up. Okay, move Mr. Overlocker out the way. Get this one back in. And move that pedal out the way before I start setting off the overlocker. And then pull this back so you can see a bit better. There we go. And then we're going to do 5/8 of an inch, 1.5 centimetres. Good. Great. No, Coco, you can't be there because then no one can see. Go sit over there. Go on, darling. Yeah, it just helps it with thick fabric. I always increase my stitch length. So a nice reverse at the start and at the end. Stitch length 3 and a nice straight stitch. Again, it feels strange to be doing a straight stitch because we've done so much jersey stuff. So that's that one done. We need to press it open, but before we do that, let's just do the other one. I think we're just doing the same with the facings. Did you hear it? Just went off again. We have actually, guys, as well, we've put in the description of this sew along all the new things that we're going to, all the new sew alongs coming up. So, Rosie, maybe you can tell everyone what they are because I can't remember exactly all of them. But yeah, they're all up now. I think have we scheduled almost all the way up to the end of Feb or into March even, haven't we? So you can see what's coming up each week. I'll let Rosie tell you. Drum roll. And trim that and that. So we are going to now press them open. So Anderson blouse, that's right. Oh, then the cowl neck dress, yes. If you like the Thea, the cowl neck dress is a bit more fitted, but it's still a nice simple make like the Thea dresses. Oh. That's the next 2 weeks, that's what we've got. There's more, isn't there, Rosie? There's more. She's teasing us. Then we've got, yes, second half of the pipe cushion, and then the new secret pattern that those of you that are in the VIP club will be finding out about sooner, the first week. So after it's been released generally, then we'll put it out, then we'll do the Sewalong. And that one always is a 2-dayer, because I feel like we want to give the new pattern a bit of a moment. So we're going to do that in 2 sessions. And I think it'll be a Monday and a Wednesday, we said, didn't we? And then in March, oh yeah, the Lois Dress and the Ultimate Pencil Skirt. Yes, I feel like little Lois. It's a really lovely viscose or crepe dress. Never really got looked at because she came out just before the Anderson. Not the Anderson, sorry. She came out before Audrey. She's a lovely dress, and I just suddenly thought, oh, I'd wear that. She's sort of semi-smart, but still quite not overly fitted, so I thought it was something I'd quite like to make and wear at the moment. Selfish, guys, that's why we're doing that one, because I thought I'd like to make that dress. Okay, putting it all down, clearing the decks, and now we are aligning these where our circles are. Okay, that like that. This like this. Hey guys, just a little amendment there. In the live sew along, I joined the facing and the front piece at the square edge. It's not the facing. It's not the facing at this point. We are joining the, it's basically, the facing shouldn't have been attached at that point. All we're doing is joining the back and the front. So where you join your seam to join the back, the 2 front pieces together here, you see that? That then needs to be stitched here with the back neck. And then you can do the snipping in, then you can do your shoulders, and then you bring in the facing piece. So sorry about that, and sorry for the confusion, but the facing piece isn't brought into this until we're joining it on the outer edge with the front piece all the way around. But yeah, the little square bit when you're stitching between the circle to the circle, it needs to be the back and the front and not the facing. So now I've stitched that, so from there to there. Now we're going to clip into it, I believe. Yep. So we're going to snip up to the circle, but not beyond and not through our stitching, so that that's released, so that that will make us be able to sew the rest. Okay. Let's just get it all confused. There we go. And now we're going to overlock the shoulder seams. However, which are these ones? Just wondering if we're meant to be overlocking through the be accurate when sewing. Overlock and zip the shoulder seam edges of the front pieces. So we're just going to overlock, yes, from here to here. So we're not going to remove that out the way, and now we can get in there more easily because of that snip. So we're just going to overlock this bit, and then the same here as well. Okay. Let's see if I can pull this in just quickly, because there's not really much for you to see when I'm overlocking. So if I just quickly pull it in, then I can just quickly get the overlocking out the way without wasting time lifting the seams on and off. If you don't have an overlocker, guys, it's fine. You can just be zigzagging. And when you zigzag, just make sure that your zigzag stitch binds over the edge. So when it goes off to the right, it just graze off the edge of the right, and then that will bind that edge. Okay. as well. Okay. So that's done. Next up, we are going to align the shoulder seam edges. So we're going to stitch the front and back together with the shoulder seams. So then we get this. So get the back. I hand in and hold it like this. So annoying, guys, that I can't give you a better view of what I'm doing, but we work with what I've got. It's better than nothing. And then place it right sides together. Okay. So this is called a boucle, this wool on the site, and it is kind of boucle-esque, but it's quite unusual because it's sort of it's onto a knitted base, so it's not got that much give, but it's very soft. But it does have that lovely boucle curly wool effect. And the other two that we've put up there has, and we've actually got two more coming that weren't ready, or rather hadn't arrived, but we've got a boucle in a really lovely dusky pink. And also a boucle in a forest green that we've got to inspire you to make a Coatigan, Jessie Coatigan. And if anyone was wondering what I'm meaning by Coatigan, it's meant to be coat / cardigan. Half cardigan, half coat. A very relaxed, slouchy coat. And a bit more of a substantial cardigan. Okay, now we are going up to the circle, guys, now, so we're going to sew up that way, which actually I might just need to transfer that circle marking. Well, I need to know what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip my pins actually so that I can see. Really, you want to be working from the sewing from the front so you can see where that circle is, because that's where you're starting or going up to with your sewing along your shoulder seam. So from there to there, so that's a circle to the end, edge of the armhole. Okay. There we go. Make sure you do a good reverse, 5/8 of an inch. 1.5 centimetre seam allowance. There we goes. And then it's the same on this side. I'm going to need to flip my pins over so that I can work. So this time I'll be going from the edge of the shoulder, so the armhole, up towards the circle. But again, I'm going to do it so that I can see it from this side where the circle is. So from sewing it on the front side. I think this piece is particularly, so I've suddenly gone croaky. This is particularly hard for you guys to see because it's so big. It's very difficult then to give you context, which I like to try and do, but it is a bit of a big beast of a pieces to be sewing together. Okay. Right, so now it's getting rather confused here. So we've done our shoulder seams. Not going to press those quite yet, it looks like. No, okay, we're not. So now we're going to line the front facing and the body of the cardigan along the front edges. Matching the notches and stitching in place. So we now need to get these, we've done the kind of that bit there, but we need to now line up these bits to the curvy outside bit. This is a big bit of stitching. So I'm going to suggest that we sew this in 2 sections. So I often say this, when we're sewing things down the front of a garment, you want to sew down this side and then sew down that side. But what you don't want to do is do that, because then you get dragging potentially. So what you do, if you just pin one side at a time, so if you start here and then pin this right hand side, obviously it doesn't matter which side you start with, so right or left, you've got a notch there to line up. Beat again. First thing I'm going to do after this is just go check, guys, that it isn't the fire alarm, smoke alarm. So from here down to the hem, we're now going to sew that. I just want to check it's still 1.5 centimetres. It is. So again with our stitch length of 3, so starting at the back there of the shawl, centre back edge, do a little reverse, and away we go. Nice long seam. Okie dokies, that's done. Now we're going to flip it so that we can go down this side. Trim those off. That same, just turning it so that you'll still be able to sew down the other direction. And flip it onto that side, onto the front side for this side. And again, just match up your notches. Make sure that you're aligning it as you go, because it's a long old seam, so you need those notches to help you. Got one there. This is great, this fabric, it's so easy to line up because it doesn't really stretch, and because it's wool, it just sort of sticks to each other. I think actually wool can be tricky in terms of, so it gets very bulky. The hardest thing really is wool, is pressing it to get the really nice seams. But I love how it just cuts really easily, as long as you've got good sharp scissors, and it just stays, it pins really easily compared to something like chiffon. Oh, I'd sew wool any day. Chiffon is not my favourite fabric to sew with. Oh, let's chat about that. What's your favourite fabric to sew with? Obviously, cotton is wonderfully satisfying and great for beginners. I think it might be viscose though, mine, like as in a rayon. I think I really love that because it presses really well, and I love that floaty drapiness. Right, let's see what you guys have said. Viscose as well, Hélène? Yeah. It's the natural fibres, isn't it? That just means it's really lovely to press. Good quality linen. Ooh, cotton interlock. Ooh. Niche. Very niche, L'Oreal. Cotton lawn. Oh, Rosie, what's yours favourite? Cotton lawn is lovely. Lovely softy butteriness, like the ones that I had for the Lisa Comfort fabrics. The Tana lawn kind of Liberty quality. Love that. Viscose too. Yes, exactly. Good balance of float. Yeah, exactly. I think it's just the scope of what you can do with viscose, but it's not a nightmare. Ponte, yeah, oh gosh, of course, Ponte's wonderful. Yeah, press as well, exactly. That's why any beginners watching this, you know, anything that's easy to press will help your sewing look so much better, obviously, because you can press it well. If you can't press it and it's what we call bouncy, so something like a polyester crepe can be quite bouncy and just will not press, then it means your garment doesn't ever have that beautiful finish. Very annoying. Okay, so we've done that. I think we're trimming seam allowances down, then we're understitching. I'm worried that I'm not going to get that much finish all done with you guys. Anyway, I can only do as much as I can do, but let's just do that. And when we get to the point where we stop, but this was the stupidest dress to wear, because now this stuff has just disintegrated all over it. I need to get a lint roller. Very annoying. Whoa, so satisfying to cut. So I'm trimming the seam allowance down to half the width just to reduce some of the bulk. Another thing you could do is grade the seams. If you've got really thick wool, really thick boucle, you could cut one of the seam allowances in half and leave the other one, and that will again reduce bulk. But make it, you know, so it's not such a big step of a seam allowance ridge, edge. You know what I'm saying? Okay. We're trying to find somewhere easy to grab, but I'm getting to the end, guys. Just this last straight bit, put that flat on the table, and then I can just trim along there. Hi, Coco. Just doing some snipping. Whew, got a bit of an arm workout then. Whew. Right. Do we need to, press? No, ideally not before. No. Okay. So understitch the seam allowance to the facing from the hem up till the break point marking on the pattern, and we recommend locating this notch and then using a pin to the right side of your fabric to know where to start and stop. Yes, so that's the point. So when you're making a jacket or a coat, so you would understitch, but when you get to a point where you're then going to have this folded out, then you don't want the understitch to be there. So you stop at that point, and it's the break point when it folds out. So we need to locate this, which I've probably just trimmed it off. So let's get the pattern back. I believe it must be there, that notch there. So it will be that one because it's not the other one down below. So we're just going to line this back up and pop the pin there. However, we need that pin to be on the outside, because on the right side, because we're going to be understitching from the right side. So we're going to understitch the seam allowance towards the facing. Get that pin. Where's he gone? There we go. And we'll just move him. So see where he is there. I'm just going to take him out and I'm going to pop him here. Okay. So I'm actually on this side because this is the edge that will be easier to have under there. So I'm going to sew from the pin all the way down to the hem, and then on the other side it'll be from the hem upwards. So make sure that your seam allowance is going towards the facing. And ideally we press afterwards, otherwise if you press before you understitch you might stretch the seam a bit. So getting that facing, he's not playing ball, there we go. So when I understitch, what I usually do is I use the middle groove in the presser foot as my point to sit on top of the seam join, and then I move the needle over, just so over like 2 or 3 millimeters. Okay. You're being a lot of big yo-yoer today, aren't you? In and out, shake it all about. Her food's up there. That's why she goes up there. Okay, so I'm constantly feeling and making sure that that seam allowance is going towards the facing. Fab. So that, oh, I love it when I see an understitched edge there. Can you see that? So lovely. It just sharpens that up. So what that will mean is that will stay neatly on the inside there. Should we put it on, guys, so you've got context? Let's wear. It's quite hard to put this on. Put it on. You haven't done the side seams, it's a bit more confusing. But so that will come like that, and at the point there, that's when the shawl starts to turn and become the collar, like that. And so at that point, you don't want it to, you don't want the understitching to be here, you want it to be ideally on the other side. We're going to start and stop your stitching. I'm not sure if we'll be doing, yeah, well then, so you're going to do the same on this side with your understitching, and then you're going to do this bit on the opposite side so that the understitching is not showing on the front. Anyway, I hope, ignore this side, but I hope that gives you context of what we've got there. Okay, so yeah, so you do it hit all the way up here, and then when you get to this bit, you're going to understitch on the other side. So the notch will have to, you have to snip the notch back in so that the seam allowance will then be, you'll be stitching the understitching on the right side, so or rather on the garment side, the jacket side rather than the facing side, so that it doesn't show. the whole purpose of it is to help it sit inside. Now, we haven't done the side seams, we haven't done, obviously, we haven't done our pockets, but it's still, you can see it works. You don't need to do that in order to do this, but I'm sorry that I didn't get that much more done with you guys, but I'm hoping that that is at least something for you to give you context. And I promise to finish it, and I'll show you once it's finished. Okay guys, hope that was a good sew along for you. Thanks for joining me. I plan on doing a makes actually video. I haven't done, when are we gonna, once we've finished January, so this is the last one for January. So once I finish that, we'll do a makes video, and I'll try and explain that, or any little bits that we didn't manage to do together in the makes video. And also it's nice just to see all of the things finished, isn't it? Right guys, thanks a lot. I will see you for the big sew, some of you I hope, on Wednesday at 6:30. Those of you that don't know about the big sew, check it out on our website. It is a evening sewing event, kind of bit of chilled out sewing and chatting, and we do it on Zoom so we can actually see each other. It's £5 for a ticket. It's just from 6:30 to 7:30, and it's very minimal stuff that you're going to need. We're going to be doing English paper piecing. I remembered it this week, but yeah, I'm sure there'll be a link to it in the description box below. All right guys, thanks so much and have a good rest of your week. Bye.